You didn't find this message. It found you, because a part of you already remembers. If you're here, it's not by coincidence. You may not call yourself a light worker, but if you're drawn to healing, awakening, raising your frequency, helping others, or simply walking through life with love instead of fear, you already are one. This is not about being chosen. There are no special ranks or hierarchies in the light. A light worker is simply a soul who chooses to operate from love. Again and again, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when it would be easier to numb out. You didn't come to escape the world. You came to help heal it by being yourself. And if you've ever questioned whether you're meant for this, know this: anyone who chooses light becomes it. That's what a light worker is. Not better, not above, just awake and walking with love. You came here to help Earth remember herself, and in doing so, you remember who you are. The Earth is not just going through climate change or technological evolution. She's undergoing a consciousness shift, an awakening, and you are part of it. Lightworkers are not spectators. You didn't just incarnate to observe history. You came to help guide the transformation of it. You hold codes, frequencies, memories, and even if you feel small, lost, or unsure, your presence shifts the field. This is not about doing it perfectly. It's about remembering who you are and daring to live from that truth. You are part of a wave. Some say the waves of volunteers Dolores Cannon spoke of. Others feel the call of the 144,000, not as a literal number, but as a symbolic activation of ancient soul contracts. But you don't need a label to belong. All that matters is the frequency you carry and the choice you make, fear or love. Every time you choose love, you tip the balance. Every time you speak with kindness, create from truth, or simply stay soft when the world wants you hard, you help Earth remember. Decades ago, regression hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon documented stories from clients who, under deep hypnosis, spoke of coming to Earth from other dimensions, planets, and realms of light. They weren't here to learn karmic lessons, but to assist, to anchor love, to guide humanity through a great shift. She called them the waves of volunteers, 3 generations of souls, each with a different frequency, purpose, and role. But why waves? Because one surge of light would have been too much for Earth to hold. The human collective wasn't ready to awaken all at once, so the universe, in its wisdom, sent them in phases, each wave preparing the field for the next, like light gradually rising before dawn. First wave, 1940s to 60s. The groundbreakers. Often felt like outsiders. Many struggled with depression or a deep homesickness. But they held the initial frequency, the bridge between dimensions, even when they didn't feel understood. Second wave, 70s to 90s. The energy stabilizers. They didn't need to do as much, and their vibration alone shifted reality. Many felt invisible or unsure of their purpose, but they were anchoring the new codes without even realizing it. Third wave, 90s to 2000s. The system breakers and builders. Born more awake, more intuitive, more sensitive. They came in with the blueprints of New Earth already encoded in their DNA to teach, transform, and rebuild. But here's what truly matters. You don't have to fit into a label, date, or wave. You may feel like a blend of them all, or like you're only waking up now. What matters is that you feel the call to assist, to love, to remember. Because your soul said yes. You came here with a mission. But it may not look like what you thought a mission would be. It's not always about healing thousands, becoming a teacher, or standing on a stage. Sometimes it's raising kind children, holding space for one soul to feel seen, transmuting pain through your art, your presence, your choice to keep loving. You weren't sent to save the world, but to remind it of its light. Your soul assignment lives in your everyday actions, in your energy, in the way you respond when fear knocks, and you answer with love. And here's the truth. Your mission is activated through alignment. The more you live in harmony with your soul, the clearer your path becomes. You don't find your mission. You remember it, one step at a time. You came encoded with a frequency. Your presence is the key. And when you stop doubting that, the world begins to shift around you. Before we continue, let's bridge what we just explored. Each soul's assignment is deeply personal, but not random. There is a deeper pattern, a sacred design, and some of you were encoded with a very specific frequency, 144,000. Now let's be clear. This number is not about elitism or chosen status. It's not about being better or part of some exclusive spiritual club. It's about frequency alignment. These souls, the ones often referred to in ancient texts and starseed prophecies, carry a harmonic imprint. They act like stabilizers, frequency holders. They remember something deep within their bones, even if their minds don't yet understand. Because 144,000 isn't a head count. It's a critical mass, a point of activation in the field. When enough lightworkers are awakened, aligned, and vibrating in resonance with their truth, a planetary threshold is crossed. So why 144,000? Because it's not just a number, it's a frequency signature that unlocks a pattern in the divine matrix. 144 is 12 times 12, the sacred code of wholeness and completion. 12 strands of DNA, 12 energetic bodies, 12 original tribes, 12 rays of creation, 12 soul templates, each one harmonizing in perfect balance. And when 144,000 souls vibrate at that frequency, they don't just help the planet evolve, they become the tuning fork that anchors the new Earth into being. This is also mirrored in sacred geometry. The flower of life has 144 intersection points, a map of unity consciousness. The Merkaba, your light body vehicle, is said to rotate at 144,000 spins per pulse in ancient star teachings. The 12-pointed star, or dodecagram, maps the harmonics of time and soul constellations. When this code awakens within you, you don't need to understand it. You'll feel it. So if you've ever wondered why you feel called, why you sense something big is unfolding, even when others don't see it yet, it's not because you're a chosen one. It's because you're part of the equation. You are here to remember, to activate, to amplify, and together, we shift the field. It's not always crystal balls and angel wings. In fact, it often feels like the opposite. Being a light worker in today's world can feel overwhelming, like you're feeling everything all the time. Lonely, even in a crowded room. Heavy, like you're carrying pain that isn't even yours. Confusing, you know things others don't, but can't always explain how. Isolating, because not everyone is ready to hear what you've awakened to. But here's the truth, no one tells you. That's part of the path. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're not too sensitive, you're tuned in. You're connected to more frequencies, more timelines, more dimensions than the average human. And because of that, you pick up the pain, you sense the shifts. You carry a mission before you have the words to describe it. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to remember, so you could help others do the same. And on the days it hurts, when you feel too raw, too tired, too alone, that's when the light inside you is working hardest. That's when your soul is integrating lifetimes. That's when the grid gets stronger through you. Because being a light worker isn't about being perfect. It's about being real and still choosing love. And that brings us here, to a question so many of you have quietly carried in your hearts. If I chose this, why has it been so hard? The truth is, it's been hard because you came in awake in a world that's been asleep for thousands of years. You came insensitive to a planet taught to numb, ignore, and suppress. You came in with light codes and soul memories to a collective that forgot who they are. Of course it's been hard. You didn't come to play in the illusion. You came to help dismantle it. And that's not a soft, sparkly job. That's soul-level demolition. The truth? Your challenges weren't punishments. They were activations. Each betrayal taught you discernment. Each heartbreak expanded your capacity for love. Each breakdown cracked you open wide enough for the light to enter. You were forged in contrast so your frequency could become undeniable. And the deeper reason? Because lightworkers are frequency anchors, and you can't anchor something you haven't embodied. So the pain, the shadows, the nights where you begged the universe to explain, they weren't just lessons. They were initiations into your own power. You weren't here to be saved. You were here to remember. And now the remembering is complete. The real work begins. Because, beloved Lightworker, this is the time. And now, you're starting to feel it. Something's shifting, not just inside you, but around you. The world may look chaotic on the surface, but underneath, there's a quiet pulse, a rising rhythm. It's been building for years, lifetimes even. And you didn't come here by accident. You came for this moment. The timelines are converging, the frequencies are lifting. The veil is thinner than it's ever been, and for the first time in a very long time, Earth is ready. She's ready for the ones who remember, for the ones who see through illusion, who feel energy like it's language, who walk with love like it's oxygen. She's ready for you. And maybe you're not fully ready. Maybe you still doubt, still wonder if you're enough. But here's the thing. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be fearless to take the first step. You just have to show up as you are. Now, because the time isn't someday. It's not when you're healed or confident or ready. It's now. Now is the portal. Now is the invitation. And the more you say yes, even softly, even trembling, the more the path unfolds beneath your feet. This is the time, and you're right on schedule. Because what you're stepping into now isn't just a new path, it's a new circuitry, and you're a living part of it. The moment you remembered, even just a little, you lit up a point on Earth's energy grid. This isn't just metaphorical. There is a real planetary network, a lattice of consciousness, activated by light, intention, and resonance. And every time a lightworker awakens, their energy joins the circuit. This is how we build the grid of light, not with effort, but alignment, not by forcing others to change, but by becoming the clearest, truest version of ourselves. Your body is already wired for this. Your crystalline DNA, your light body, your voice and vibration. They are all part of the code. The more you heal, the more you remember. And the more you remember, the more your frequency activates the grid, locally and globally. But here's what they don't always tell you. When the light turns on, it also casts shadows. That's why lightworkers often face intense challenges, why people project their fears, doubts, and wounds onto you. It's not personal, it's the mirror effect. Your light doesn't just inspire, it reveals, it awakens, it reflects. You become a living mirror, not of who they are on the surface, but who they could become. And that can be triggering. It's why shadow work is essential. Not to fix yourself, but to become whole. Because wholeness is what heals. Wholeness is what transmits. Wholeness is what stabilizes your frequency so you don't get knocked off center. So if it feels hard, if the people around you are uncomfortable, if old patterns are rising to be seen, you're not failing. You're activating. And through your courage to face the shadow and still choose light, you create a ripple that reaches far beyond what you can see. You are not here to convince. You are here to become, and that is more than enough. After everything we've shared, the remembering, the assignment, the mirror, the grid, there's one question that still echoes in the hearts of so many. But what's my purpose? It's the question Lightworkers ask more than anyone, because you know you're here for something more. You feel the pull. But in a world that values roles, results, and resumes, you've been trained to look for it out there. But your purpose isn't something to chase. It's not something you find on a job board or in a certification. Your purpose is to be the full, authentic, aligned expression of you. Not a version of you that fits into someone else's mold, not a version of you that's watered down to be accepted, but the you that's been whispering underneath it all. Wild, radiant, remembering. You are a unique expression of Source, a never-again frequency of God. There has never been, and will never be, another you. Not in this timeline, not in this cosmos, not in this form. You are a piece of the cosmic puzzle, irreplaceable. And when you try to be anything else, the grid flickers. But when you choose to be you, not perfect, not better, just real, your light locks into place, and the whole design becomes more complete. That's why your purpose is not a job or a title. It's a frequency. It's a truth. It's a being. And when you live it, everything else aligns. So if you've been asking, what am I meant to do? Start here. Be the most you've ever been. That is not just enough. That is everything. If this message stirred something inside you, like subscribe or share in the comments if you feel called as a lightworker, not for the algorithm, but to let the signal grow, because every ripple counts. And your light just added one more.